Hello and welcome to episode 16 of The Final Whistle. I'm your host, Drew Ziegler, and I'm here with James Gougosis and Stephen Kubis. Today we will talk all about March Madness, a preview of the upcoming 2023 MLB season, and a segment in the Wayne Hills hallway. So first up, we got March Madness. The Elite Eight just happened. San Diego State and Creighton. San Diego State comes out on top in a thrilling game. And Lamont Butler, 8 for 11, 18 points. That was their top scorer for the Aztecs.
Yeah, like throughout the tournament, San Diego State's defense has came up clutch, and against a high-flying Creighton offense who's been playing out of their mind in this tournament, it was important for them. They gave up, I think, 0 threes in the second half, which was so important. And I think the ending, I mean, it was a great ending, but like for them to call no time left at the end, it was a little disappointing, but great win for San Diego State.
I mean, yeah, San Diego State's this defense is the only reason why they're even here. I don't think their offense is that good, but their defense is definitely the reason why they're still in the tournament. But it was I was disappointed at the ending at the game. You know, I think they should have added 0.3 seconds. I think everybody could agree with that. We saw it. The ball definitely hit the ground with 0.3 seconds left. I don't know why they called it. I think they might have called it because the inbounder might have crossed the line on its throw. But I still think it should have added time. They got a little more thriller into the game, a little more excitement, but I'm just happy, you know.
It was obviously a controversial ending. There was a foul at the end, and I think it was a foul. Obviously, it's tough to make that call at the end of the game, but I think the right call was made. And the other game, Florida Atlantic versus Kansas State. FAU surprisingly comes out on top, and they're just on a Cinderella run right now. Elijah Martin with 17 points in that game, and Marquise Noel, despite not being on the right end of the game, 30 points and 12 assists. He just had a crazy tournament.
Yeah, Marquise Noel had one of the best tournaments and we've ever seen. I mean, last game in the Sweet 16, he had like 19 assists. Now he drops 30. You know, he just had a phenomenal tournament for FAU. I mean, they ended the season only with 3 losses. I think everybody knew they were a dangerous team, especially in like more of a weak region. But I don't think anybody expected them to make the Final Four. And I think it's just great for the sport to make the Final Four. You know, 2 mid-major teams in a Final Four matchup. I mean, last year I think it was all blue bloods. So I think it's good for a change, and I'm really rooting for FAU this year.
Yeah, I mean, FAU, complete surprise. Honestly, everybody thought they would be there. I think no one hears about them because they're in a weak conference. You know, they have no 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. They're a very low-key team. But as I said earlier, before we started talking about the March Madness, I said a team that's going to win it is a team with a team. This is them. They're a complete team. They play for each other, with each other. And that's the only reason why I think they're here is because they're playing good basketball as a team, and they're very well coached, which is really good for them.
And not as great of a game. UConn and Arkansas. UConn just blowing Arkansas away, and UConn looks like the team to beat possibly in this whole tournament.
Yeah, I don't know about the second half. I mean, every second half, UConn just plays out of their mind, blowing out Gonzaga. I mean, the UConn, even though they're a 4 seed, they're playing like the best team in the tournament ever since the round of 64. So they're very dangerous. And Gonzaga losing, I hate Gonzaga, so I'm very glad they lost. You know, it's great to see them lose. Even though they beat my champion UCLA, so it's always great to see Gonzaga lose. But UConn, I think right now they're definitely the favorite.
I mean, hey, I call UConn frauds. Don't get me wrong, but I still don't like them. Still don't. I don't care. They're proving me wrong, but I still don't like them. Just don't like the way they play. I don't know. There's something about them I just don't like. But I think they're gonna have a really tough matchup in the Final Four when we talk about Miami. But it was a blowout win for them. Good, congratulations. Like, you beat Gonzaga. I hate Gonzaga, so the 2 teams I hate, but I'm glad at least the team I hate more lost.
Yeah, UConn with just a bunch of blowouts in this tournament. They beat Gonzaga by 30 points, Arkansas about 30 points. And Miami versus Texas, one of the best games, obviously. Miami with just an insane comeback win. Jordan Miller in that game, perfect statistically shooting the ball, 7 for 7 with 27 points from the field and perfect from the free throw line.
Yeah, I mean, Miami, they're looking extremely dangerous, beating a really good Texas team. And Texas, they were playing good basketball. They just beat Kansas in the Big 12 championship game. You know, they're playing extremely well. But at the end, I mean, Marcus Carr really sold that game for Texas. He was really good for the entire season, but at the end, he fouled with 40 seconds left when they were down by 2, when he should have just played defense, and then turnover at the end. You know, it was a really bad sequence for Marcus Carr, but for Miami, you know, ever since they beat Duke, I mean, they lost to Duke in the ACC tournament, they've just been a different team. They're really dangerous. I'm really intrigued about that UConn-Miami matchup. And I think it's more of a toss-up than people are giving. I think people are giving UConn a lot of credit, which they deserve, but I think people are sleeping on Miami.
Yeah, I think Miami's one of those like tournament teams. Usually not that good in the regular season. They're right. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're really bad. But when the tournament comes, they're like, it's their coach. Honestly, their coach is a phenomenal coach. He's always coaching their team to a great season in the tournament runs. But like Texas, like, what are you doing? You're winning the entire game. How do you blow it? Like, you want it so bad, but like, a couple things just mess everything up and ruin your whole entire season. And that's it. Actually, the real teams come out. Real teams can finish games. Real teams can come back. And that just proves Texas wasn't as real as they seem, and that Miami is that real team.
Yeah, Texas was my team to win it, the whole thing, and they failed expectations just like about every other team this year. And now our Final Four, we got FAU versus San Diego State, a game none of us thought would happen, but who do you think's going to win?
FAU, San Diego State. I think San Diego State's winning. I think defense wins championships. They're on the road to the championship. They got one of the best three-point defenses in the league. In today's basketball, if you limit to three, you're probably going to win. So I got San Diego State.
I'm also going to take San Diego State too. I would love to see FAU. They're a team that's like out of nowhere come to championship, but like the defense is just way too good. I don't know. They're a good, well-run team, but the defense is just way too good for San Diego State.
These are both great teams, obviously unexpected, but I'm going to keep riding the Cinderella. I got FAU. And on the other side, UConn and Miami, more expected, but still not expected. A 4 versus 5. Who do you got?
I think this is going to be one of the best games in the tournament. I think this is a dream matchup, even though we didn't really expect it. I think this is a really good matchup most fans expected, but I think UConn's going to win. I think UConn has just been playing out of their mind, and if you play their best in the postseason, that's all that matters. You don't have to play extremely well in the regular season, so I got UConn.
I don't know. I think I got some curse on me every time I pick against UConn. They win, so I'm going to take that curse, and I'm going to pick UConn to win this one. Hopefully, they lose, but I'm picking UConn for this game, but that's just it.
That curse could possibly work, and I think UConn's going to win this, but we think it's going to be one of the best games, and how this year's been going, it'll probably end up being one of the worst. So now we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be giving our MLB predictions for the upcoming season. We're back, and now we got the 2023 MLB season. Obviously, we're all excited for it with the new changes, and we're going to give some of our predictions for the division winners. So first up, NL East. James, you have the Braves, and why do you think they're going to win?
I think it's more about Edwin Diaz being out for this season. I think the big reason why the Mets were so good last year is that they didn't blow many games. I think this year, without Edwin Diaz, I think they're going to blow more games. I think the Braves are just too good of a team to just let a Mets team without one of their best players win the division.
The Braves, they always seem to win the division, and I think that streak's going to continue this year, so I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. And Steven, you got the Mets. Little bit biased, but we all want the Mets to win, but why do you think they're going to win?
Hear me out. The Mets, Justin Verlander, Cy Young last year. Difference changer in the rotation for sure. DeGrom didn't play that much last year. Verlander's a guy who can play all year. That's going to get us more wins, which is better for our division. But I think the Mets are going to make a trade that's going to help them a lot. Like, I think they're going to trade for a nice little closer and a nice starting pitcher because I have a feeling one of our starters is going to get hurt. It's the Mets. It's probably going to happen. But I think the Mets are going to do an amazing trade and get us a nice starting pitcher and closer, and I think that's the reason why we're going to the division.
Hopefully that's going to happen. Going to have to knock on wood for Justin Verlander to stay healthy the whole year. Hopefully it'll happen. And now to the NL Central, I got the Cardinals. And James, who are you picking?
Yeah, I got the Cardinals too. I think this is probably the easier division to predict. I think the Brewers, I think they've gotten worse. They didn't really do anything in the offseason. And in the Cardinals with Goldschmidt, who just won an MVP. Arenado, who just had a great year last year. I think the starting pitching is very questionable, but the NL Central is just such a weak division. I think the Cardinals got this.
And Steven, you picked the Brewers. I think not the favorite to win it, but they could definitely win the NL Central.
I got the Brewers because of their pitching. Their pitching is phenomenal. Their 1, 2, 3 guys are awesome. They lost Josh Hader, but like their starting is amazing. They can definitely go deep into the games and have like a closer coming for 1 or 2 innings. But I think the key thing for them is Christian Yelich. I think he's going to have a comeback here this year. Obviously, he did terrible the past two seasons, but I think this year, complete bounce back, and I think that's the reason why they're going to win it.
one of their best starters, Freddie Peralta, their number 3, was hurt most of the season last year, and that'll obviously be a huge get back for them. And in the NL West, I got the Dodgers. James, who do you have?
I got the Padres. I mean, when you look at that lineup, you got Soto, Bogarts, and Machado, and then Tatis when he comes back from suspension. That's such a scary lineup. Probably one of the best lineups we've seen in the past 10 years. And then in the rotation, you got Darvish, you got Snell, and then am I forgetting something? Musgrove. Yeah, I mean that's just a great rotation. I think the pitching, the offense, they're probably gonna be one of the scarier teams in the NL West and in the National League.
I think I got the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers they're just too good. Like their rotation, you don't know who the person is they're pitching, but that person's dominant. They can hit. They have amazing closers, and their farm system is just unbelievable. It wouldn't surprise me if they brought up like 2 or 3 guys this year, and they just went off. And I think that's the reason why they're going to win the division.
Padres obviously have a more stacked lineup, I would say, but the Dodgers still seem to always win it, and they know how to deal with injuries better, I think. And now to the AL, the East. I've got the Blue Jays winning this. I think this is their year to win it. A lot of people thought they were going to win it last year, and I think they're even better this year.
Yeah, for me, I got the Yankees. I think they just stacked lineup. Judge coming back is huge. Getting Rodon, even though he's injured, he's probably going to come back mid-April. And, I mean, the rotation's pretty good. You got Cole and Rodon. Severino is starting on the IL, which is a little concerning, but I think the Yankees, they're one of the best teams in the league. As much as I hate to say it, I think they're going to win the AL East.
I have the Rays. The Rays are a very sneaky, fundamental team. I think Rays play very good baseball. Like they might not seem like a team that you would like want to like win a division against, like the Yankees or the Blue Jays. But if you watch the Rays play, they're very, very good. Their pitching is very good for a very low key team. They hit pretty well, and you don't even know who's in their starting lineup because that's how low key they are. But I think they can win it because they're very competitive and they do the little things all right.
Yeah, the Rays, they lost so many players this offseason, but they seem to always get 90 wins at least, and I think that could definitely continue. And now to the Central, I got the Guardians. I think this is a tougher division to pick, but the Guardians are definitely the favorite.
Yeah, I got the Guardians too. I mean, the rest of the division's pretty weak. The Royals got a little better than the Tigers, and then they're all right. The White Sox got worse. I feel like they never do anything in the offseason. But I think the Guardians, with the emergence of Andres Jimenez, one of the best second basemen in baseball, and Jose Ramirez, one of the best players in baseball, and with such a stacked rotation, I think right now they're definitely the front runners. Even though they lost Tristan McKenzie, he has an injury, but I think that their pitching is so good. I think that'll lead them to the division title.
Yeah, I got the Guardians too. Their pitching is unbelievable, the closing and starting. That's what's going to win the division. But I wouldn't be surprised if the White Sox were like up their legs, because they're good. Their lineup's really good. Their pitching's really good. They just haven't been performing as well, and I think this year that could change.
Yeah, and now to the AL West, I've got the Astros. They seem to another team that always wins their division recently, and they're obviously coming off a World Series win also. Yeah,
this is a little hot take. I got the Mariners. I think, even though it is a hot take, they got a pretty good lineup, and to get a full season out of Luis Castillo, who they got at the trade deadline, and George Kirby is one of the best young pitchers in the league. I mean, that starting rotation with Robbie Ray, who just won a Cy Young a couple years ago, that team, I really believe that pitching will get you further. I mean, offense might win you games, but I think their pitching will lead them to a division title, which I think Seattle fans have been waiting for one for so long. I think it'll be great to see Seattle fans actually win a division title.
I'm going to have to agree with Drew. I think the Astros are going to win it. The Astros are just too good. Like, no matter what they do, they call up players, they sign players. They just always perform in Houston for some reason. And there's no way I think they'll lose to anybody in the division besides the Mariners. But obviously the Angels have 2 MVPs, but they can't win in Los Angeles. So I'm going to have to go with the Astros.
I think we're all looking forward to hopefully the Angels will finally win a division, but it seems like it's never going to happen. And now our World Series predictions. I got back-to-back champs, Astros over Padres, despite the Padres not even winning their division.
Yeah, for me, I got the Padres beating the Mariners. I think those two teams, I'm really high on. I think I'm higher on them than most people. I think the Padres, that lineup is just so scary, and the rotation is so good. I think the bullpen's a little sketchy, even though they casually have Josh Hader on that lineup. But I think the Padres, I think they'll win the National League. I think they'll win the World Series, beat the Mariners. I think the Mariners, the reason why they'll get there is the pitching. I'm a big believer in pitching, but I think No, I think Padres pitching is going to be a little bit too much for the Mariners offense. That's why I got the Padres being the Mariners.
I have the Mets and Mariners. I have the Mets because I think the Mets, after last year's devastating loss to the Padres, they'll come back and completely smack the Padres in NLCS. And I have the Mariners because their lineup just got a lot better. Like, I don't know what you guys are saying about their hitting is not as well, but like Teoscar Hernandez, like that dude can hit. Like their lineup is 1 through 6 is pretty darn good. You know, Colton Wong too. Like they have some sneaky hitters. I think they'll make their way. They'll make the little run. You know, they got little prospects that might get called up for pitching and all this. And I think they're gonna lose to the Mets because I think the Mets just have too much experience. We're going to have too much experience in the playoffs and in the World Series with Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander. I think that's the reason why they're going to win.
So we've got some similar teams. We've got some different teams, and we'll see who's right. And hopefully one of us are right. And now we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about our award predictions. So now our award predictions for NL Rookie of the Year. I got Corbin Carroll. He already signed a big contract. We don't know how he's going to pan out, but who do you guys got?
For the NL Rookie of the Year, I think I'm gonna go with Jordan Walker. I think he's just one of the best bright young stars for the Cardinals. I think he's really good in that organization. I think he's gonna pan out really well.
I'm gonna have to agree with James. I think Jordan Walker. I think St. Louis is looking for the big middle infielder guy, and I think they got him with Jordan Walker, and I think he's gonna perform really well.
And now on the other side, AL Rookie of the Year. I got an older guy, but his first time in the MLB, Masataka Yoshida from Japan. He just played in the World Baseball Classic, and he played great for the Red Sox.
Yeah, for me, I got Anthony Volpe. I think he's the real deal with the Yankees. I think maybe at the beginning of the year he's going to struggle a little. I mean, New York is intimidating, but I think he'll settle in. I think he's going to have a great year for the Yankees. I think he's going to be that shortstop, that elite shortstop they desperately needed these past few years.
I'm going to have to agree with James. I think it's Anthony Volpe. I'm obviously leaning towards him because he's New Jersey folk, but he's young. He's been in the MLB for, I'm going to say 3.5 years because that first year you really don't play that many games. So he's been there for 3 full seasons, and he's been dominating. Like, that's ridiculous. That's rare. You know, he's only like 22 years old. That's something Acuna did. Acuna caught up when he's like 22, 23, and he dominated. I think he's going to do the exact same thing, especially at Yankee Stadium.
And now, NL Cy Young prediction. I got one of the top pitchers, Corbin Burns, for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, for me, I got Spencer Strider. I think that's a little dark horse pick. Spencer Strider had a great year last year with the Braves. I think he's just going to get better. I mean, to be that good of a pitcher in your rookie year, it's not easy to do. And I think he's going to elevate his game. I think he's going to improve his fastball. His slider was so good last year. I think his slider is going to be similar to like DeGrom slider, high velocity, sharp break. So I got Spencer Strider.
I have Justin Verlander because he won it last year. Why not do it again, right? But I think the AL was a little bit tougher than the NL was last year, especially him pitching with the Astros. I think they played harder teams. I mean, this year the schedule is more spread out. You play more of like around the conference and leagues and stuff like that. But I think he can dominate, especially if he plays the AL teams when the Mets play him. I think he knows them in and out already. I think he'll dominate the season, especially going to the NL. There's some like the Braves and the Phillies lineups and the Padres and the Dodgers, but I think he's played them all before. And I think he can definitely win a Cy Young for the Mets.
So now to the AL Cy Young. I'm pretty high on the Blue Jays this year. I got Alek Manoah.
Yeah, for me, I got Luis Castillo. The Mariners, this is gonna be his first full season in Seattle. He's one of the elite pitchers in baseball, and he became a much better pitcher. And with the Mariners, his stuff is so good. His velocity is insane, and his slider is unbelievable. I got Luis Castillo.
I'm gonna have to agree with James. I got him too. I think he's gonna be the brand new Felix in Seattle. I think people are gonna love him like they did to Felix, and I think with his new team, with everybody having more like confidence in that Mariner team, I think he's gonna dominate and carry him a long way, and I think he's going to win the Cy Young.
And now the big award, NL MVP. I've got the new guy in Philly. I got shortstop Trey Turner.
Yeah, for me, I got Juan Soto. I think Juan Soto, he's going to bounce back from his off year, and even last year he had a great year considering it an off year. But I think the reason why he's so good is because he gets on base so much. He hits great, but he also gets on base and walks at a historic rate. So I think Juan Soto, he's going to bounce back with the Padres, and I think he's going to win MVP.
I had Trey Turner, but I think I'm going to change it to Paul Goldschmidt again. I think he's going to go back-to-back. I mean, that guy is a incredible hitter. He almost had they had the batting title last year, or no? He lost it.
No, Jeff McNeil.
I mean, he still hit very good. Like, especially as a power hitter, like your average is all the way up there. I think if he does repeat somewhat of a repeat we did last year, I think he clears it by a lot to win it again.
Yeah, those are some great picks. And on the AL side, we can all try to avoid it, but I think this is undoubtedly going to be everybody's pick in the end, Shohei Ohtani for the Angels.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to win, but I'm going to go with Julio Rodriguez. I mean, he had a great year last year as a rookie. Like Spencer Strider, I think he's going to come back even better this year. And I think Julio Rodriguez, I think he's going to play like the best center fielder in baseball. I think by the end of the year, he's going to be the best center fielder in baseball. I think he's going to be better than Mike Trout because of how good he is offensively and defensively.
I'm going to have to go with the catcher, Adley Rutschman. I think this is a very hot take, but I think they had him like preseason like top 3 catchers in the league already. It's his second year, right? That's ridiculous. And I think with that Oriole team, they did good last year. I think they might do a little bit better this year, and especially if he does really well, I think he'll win it because of the Orioles doing well, and he'll do dominant. So I think that's why he's gonna win it.
Yeah, Adley is a surprise pick, but he does everything so well, switch hitting catcher, and I think that's one of the best things you can be. And now we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be introducing a new segment. So now we're back, and John Grant has joined me, and I'm going to let you introduce this new topic.
So yeah, Drew, sports movies have been hitting different recently. I've been watching them all the time. So I started wondering what are our Wayne Hill students and staff's favorite sports movies, and maybe there's some I haven't watched yet. So I went into the hallway and I got a bunch of student and staff members to tell me what their favorite sports movies were. I'm out in the hallway getting interviews on students' favorite sports movies. I'm here with Bella Catania. Bella, what's your favorite sports movie?
Southpaw.
Why'd you say Southpaw?
Because I like boxing.
Thanks, Bella. Now I'm here with Mia Bacchioni. Mia, what's your favorite sports movie?
My favorite sports movie is The Blind Side
Why'd you say The Blind Side?
because it tells a great story and just is a really heartwarming movie.
Thanks, Mia. And now I'm here with the Latin Assassin. Adrian, what's your favorite sports movie?
Remember the Titans?
Why'd you say Remember the Titans?
Because it's football.
Remember the Titans is my favorite sports movie as well.
I know. It's a great movie.
Now I'm here with Aiden Sonera. Aiden, what's your favorite sports movie?
I'd say 42
Why'd you say 42?
because it shows struggles Jackie Robinson had to go through playing professional baseball in that time.
Thanks, Aiden. Now I'm here with Lauren. Lauren, what's your favorite sports movie?
My favorite sports movie is The Sandlot
Why'd you say The Sandlot?
because it's about baseball and it's really funny.
Thanks, Lauren. Now I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Officer Foster. What's your favorite sports movie?
I'm going to go with Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans? Why'd you say Remember the Titans?
Just because of I'm a football fan. It's a great story. I love it. And I love Denzel Washington.
Yeah, Denzel Washington's great.
Amazing. And just how they come together to win.
Thank you.
All right.
Now I'm here with Paul Colettis. Paul, what's your favorite sports movie?
My favorite sports movie is Thunderstruck because my favorite basketball player is Kevin Durant.
Thanks, Paul.
Welcome back. Those are obviously some great picks. I'll have to watch a few of those. And now, what is your favorite sports movie of all time?
Well, my favorite sports movie of all time, I got to go with Remember the Titans. I mean, I'm a football fan, and it's just great movie. Yeah, definitely my favorite.
That's obviously a great movie. And I got The Sandlot, baseball movie. That's just my favorite movie, probably of all time, not even sports. And that's going to do it for us on episode 16 of The Final Whistle. And we'll see you next week for episode 17.